What's up, Inside Fighting? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Insider Betting. This is the show where we give you guys our best picks and predictions for whichever UFC event is coming up. This week, no UFC. So we're back just talking about our 2025 UFC so far, 2026 predictions, give you guys a little insight on who we think will be champ by the end of the year and into 2026, what super fights we think will be happening, what's going on in the fight game right now. Last week, we had UFC Noche with Diego Lopez defeating Gene Silva, the last fighting nerd to kind of take the L there. Again, that was very tragic to see Marcio Ruffi, Kyle Bahaio, and Gene Silva all get laid out within 1 week time, which is pretty crazy to say. But we're back. I'm excited to talk UFC. Hopefully the chat is active on this one. I'm ready to take some fan questions as well. Instagram, hey, I had him too. Yeah, Diego Lopez, let's go. But yeah, Adam, how are you doing?
Good, bro. Good. I wanna mention first thing. I gotta cut my L's when I get them. But we had a little bet going on last week. We were split on a couple picks to end off the episode. I'm just pulling up last week's card here. There was 6 fights on the main card that we talked about, and then one of the fights ended up getting canceled, so that's out of the equation. But Santiago Luna versus Li Quang or Quang Li, we both picked Luna. We were even there. Kelvin Gastelum, Dustin Stoltzfus. We were split on that fight. I had Stoltzfus. You had Gastelum. You got the win there. That you're 1-0 up there. Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. I think we both got that fight wrong. I don't know. I don't think you picked Rafa Garcia, did you?
Jared Gordon was in a car accident the day before his fight. He was ran over. That's why he was wearing a knee brace in his fight. It's actually incredible that he still took the fight. He went on full send and talked to their reporter about that. And it's just crazy. He said, F you to all the degenerate gamblers who are getting mad at him for not winning that fight. But, I mean, for him to show up even to that fight is incredible, man. Josh, he is a warrior, Gordon, there.
Really is. Rob Font, David Martinez. I had David Martinez winning. You had Rob Font winning. I got that one. We were 1-1 going into the main event. And then sadly, I had Gene Silva and you had Diego Lopez. And you had Diego Lopez winning. So you won our bet. And the bet was no hats for this show. So we got hair out, forehead out. Gonna get some comments, I'm assuming, on that. But that's okay, man. You live with it, you know?
Sometimes. I mean, I didn't win my parlays, but it makes me feel a little better that I won this one. Yeah, he got knocked the F out. I mean, Gene Silva didn't get knocked the F out. Some people are saying questionable stoppage, but I mean, you protect the fighters. You got to protect the fighters. If you're taking that much damage, not protecting yourself, I'm always leaning on the side of the ref and the fighter to like wave it off. But I mean, Gene Silva is a warrior. He wasn't going to let himself go out.
Yeah.
That was a great 100%. Fight. Great main event.
Great fight. When I was watching that live, I actually thought early stoppage, and then I rewatched it, and I was like, no, I think that was fair stoppage. He didn't get knocked the fuck out, but he got knocked out. Like that was It was a bad elbow, and then he survived there for a little bit, but it was an interesting fight. But let's talk about, obviously there was some implications that if Gene Silva won this fight, that there's a potential for him to go ahead and fight Alexander Volkanovski. Obviously, Diego Lopez is the number 2 ranked fighter in the world right now in the featherweight division. So it would have been a big win for Gene Silva. He didn't get it done. Diego Lopez just fought Volk and lost in a pretty clear decision win there. And so the question is, who gets the next title shot in the featherweight division? It's a pretty interesting one because you obviously have Movsar Evloev, who's probably the most deserving fighter to get the title shot. He's the number 1 contender for a reason in the featherweight division. He's just on such a hot streak. You know, he hasn't lost. He's just extremely boring, so nobody wants to see it. But, like, on paper, he deserves it.
Say the same thing about Lerone Murphy as well, though, who's actually fighting, not falling out of fights and stuff. So I think Lerone Murphy's number 1 contender for sure. But even Aljamain Sterling's throwing his name in the mix right now.
I saw Aljo's throwing his name in the mix. I mean, Aljo just lost to Evloev, you know. But
some people said it was close, and he's more active. He's actually winning fights. Until Movsar actually comes back and puts on a dominant performance, he didn't dominate Aljamain Sterling. So
no. But he does have some like big names under his belt. Like he's beaten Diego Lopez, Dan Ige, Brett, Arnold Allen, Aljo. I think he beat Taporia as well at one point. I'm not sure, but he's beaten some big names. Where Leroy Murphy, he's won and he's gotten deserved wins, but at the same time, like he hasn't been super exciting by any means either, right? Like, sure, he knocked out Aaron Pico, but every other fight in the UFC went to a decision. And he's fought smaller names overall, most likely. So it's a bit of a tough one. Like, I would actually love to see Aljo just because I think out of everyone I just mentioned here that he's got the most potential to beat Volk out of all those fighters, but his records just doesn't show it. You know, it's hard. I think it'll be hard for the UFC to be like, we're just going to book Aljo instead of Evloev when Evloev just beat him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be even interested in Pitbull versus Evloev, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't think Movsar deserves an immediate title shot. I mean, he beat Diego Lopez in 2023. Diego Lopez has taken what, like 5 fights since? Movsar hasn't. He's taken 2 fights. Like,
so that begs the question: if Evloev's not ready, that means I'd probably argue Leroy Murphy should be next,
yes,
and then do Evloev Diego Lopez rerun? Because Diego Lopez has to do something to prove himself. You know, like sure he beat Gene Silva, but Gene was ranked what, number 8, number 10 when he took that fight. So like it's not like it's a big name win, but like when it comes to the rankings, it's not like that big of a win compared to the top ranked guys. Or maybe you set him up with like Aljo or something.
yeah,
For a fight.
You could even do Gene Silva, give him another chance to put his name into the top after losing a close one to the number 1 contender. You know, so
yeah.
It's a weird division right now. Volk on top. People are questioning his age and his. But I like Volk as a champ. I think he's a great champ. I think he's going to be not so dominant as he used to be in his career, but I do think he's going to have a few more title defenses. If I'm being honest, it's Leroy Murphy.
Happy to see Volk as a champ. Taporia moving up definitely opened up the division where it's like it's very competitive. Like every guy seems like he can beat the other guy. You know, Evloev versus Murphy both undefeated. Yeah, I feel that both undefeated and both boring. And in their wins, the only issue with that fight was Ellsmark, is that you're just putting Volk on the sidelines longer, right? Like if you give those two guys a fight against each other, you either make Volk sit till that fight happens, or you book him against Aljo, and then you have those other two guys pissed. It was just weird.
Yeah, a lot of contenders coming up in every division right now. It seems like we got a lot of dominant champions, though, so it's kind of just building for a lot of number 1 contender fights. We're seeing it in middleweight. We're seeing it in light heavyweight. We're seeing it in welterweight. We're seeing it in a lot of divisions with a lot of fighters putting their name into the top 5, top number 1 contenders. So it should lead to a lot of exciting fights in 2026, which I'm excited to get into as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a bit. Let's see some other divisions. Who's going to be champ going into 2026? We just covered featherweight. I think the next important one to cover is the middleweight division. Obviously, there was some talk where Imavov, he fought Kai Baralho, and RDR was supposed to fight Fluffy, and Dana basically said the most exciting winner of that fight of those fights is going to get the title chance. So obviously Imavov, he's beaten Cabarallo already. So his name's right in the mix there. Fluffy pulled out of RDR's fight though. So RDR is fighting who's he fighting? I literally just had this.
Brendan Allen.
Brendan Allen. He's fighting him next. The question is, if he beats Brendan Allen, and let's say he beats him dominantly, like just dominates the fight, first, second round finish, maybe makes him tap. Does RDR get the title shot? Does Imavov get the title shot? I think the UFC probably wants RDR to get that shot just because I think like the storyline of him coming over is a big one. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Who do you think is going to fight?
I think Imavov's right there. I think it's Imavov's shot. I think they could have that fight booked next week if they wanted to before the RDR versus Brendan Allen fight. That's no longer a number 1 contender fight in my eyes. We even had Paulo Costa throwing his name in the mix to jump in and fight RDR in Vancouver, but he offered to fight since it was on short notice. He offered to fight for 3 rounds, not 5 rounds, which RDR said, no, I'm not doing that. So Paulo Costa didn't get the step in. Kyle Bahio threw his name in the mix. He didn't get the step in. So now we're seeing Brendan Allen. I don't really like it. I think RDR's wrestling is just too strong for Brendan Allen, and we've seen that when Brendan Allen fought Anthony Hernandez, the wrestling was too strong for him. And I think wrestling in most of these divisions is what's going to take you to the championship nowadays. If you don't have good wrestling defense, if you don't have good wrestling, you're not going to become champion in the UFC in 2025, 2026, especially with Hamza Chimaev, Merab Dvalishvili. These guys are very wrestling heavy kind of guys. Islam Makhachev, Alexandre Pantoja. He's had 4 rear naked chokes, submissions while being a champion. So like, this is just insane, the amount of wrestling dominance we're seeing from champions. So I'm going to say RDR is still going to be in the mix after this Brendan Allen fight. Brendan Allen has an opportunity to make his name, but Imavov, there's no denying him. He beat Izzy. He beat Kyle. He's the one knocking off these #1 contenders. So he's the one, rightfully so, who should be next in line to fight for the title, in my opinion.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think it's Imavov. I think he also, like, he didn't finish Kai Baralho, but like that fight was very one-sided. So maybe it wasn't exciting for the average fan, but it was definitely dominant enough where I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, we have a couple title fights already booked before the end of 2026, before the end of 2025. We have what's it called? In the light heavyweight division, we have Magomed Ankalaev taking on Alex Pereira in the next main event. I think it's in Vegas. I forget where it's at. I feel like
is it Vegas?
Yeah. So that'll be the next pay-per-view. They're running it back. Who do you think is gonna get the win here?
I thought
we both saw it live at the first time around.
Yeah, I thought Alex Pereira won that first fight. The 5th round, I've said this on a few shows before, but the 5th round, every judge scored for Magomed Ankalaev. But if you look at other pages like Verdict MMA, who really break down the significant striking in rounds, the 5th round was all significant striking leaning towards Alex Pereira, which means he did more damage. But all 3 judges scored it for Magomed Ankalaev that 5th round, because of the clinch and because of the control time against the cage, which I hate. So going into the 5th round, it was 2-2. Magomed Ankalaev wins. I thought it was a little bit of a robbery there, but everyone in the first fight was like, oh, he lost because he was too distracted. He was at karate combat events. He was in Australia. He was traveling. The guy wasn't just dialed into one place, into one camp. And that's why he lost the fight. And I'm seeing a similar kind of rumors going on into this next rematch fight. Oh, Alex Pereira is shooting a movie. He's too distracted. He's going here. He's going there. How focused is he really at regaining his title? He's 245 pounds out of camp. He's looking more like a heavyweight. Is he really going to bounce back and get his title and be a dominant champ again? I'd love to see it. I'm a big Alex Pereira guy. No chama. I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to shut him out, probably knock him out, send him up to heavyweight. We get Alex Pereira taking on Cyril Gane in heavyweight as a big super fight, and then see how that one plays out. Maybe Alex Pereira heavyweight champion by the end of 2026. That's a bold prediction for you right there.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, the question really is, can Alex Pereira control the ground game a little bit more than he did in the first fight? Because he literally just lost on control time. He did everything else right.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's got it. I feel like he does. I felt like that in the first fight. I also think he won the first fight. And that Ankalaev didn't deserve to be champion. Because usually you give, like, when it's like that close, you give the benefit of doubt to the champion. Like, the contender really has to prove that they won the fight to win that fight. And so I was really surprised the judges didn't give it to Pereira. But I think if the same thing happens this time around, maybe they do. But I just think Pereira is just fighting. I think fighting someone for the second time, especially when it comes to the ground game, you get a better sense of like how they do things, and you can really train for that, where it's really hard to do that for the first fight. Where, like, on Ankalaev's end, like, he's felt Pereira's power. I don't think Pereira does anything like super crazy when it comes to striking. I just think he's super powerful and persistent.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Ankalaev can like train any better than what he did for that. Like I think Pereira will still have it coming. The only thing Ankalaev can do is like, okay, this is how he tried to defend my takedowns. I'm gonna try to like work on that so I can hold him on the ground longer next time. And
Mhm.
so it just depends who gets the better of each other then. But I got pull time. I think
What
he's
I
gonna
will
come back
say
strong.
about it being a rematch, Alex Pereira's last rematch in the UFC was against Israel Adesanya, and Israel Adesanya got his get back and knocked him out. So,
Yeah,
I mean, Alex Pereira in UFC rematches hasn't
not
proven that
good.
he's that guy. That's also one reason just why I'm leaning toward
Yeah.
Magomed Ankalaev by knockout.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Other championship we got booked 2025 is Merab Dvalishvili taking on Corey Sandhagen. Is that the same night? I think it's the
On the
same night,
same night, co-main
but
event.
co-main event. Yeah. Um, I got Merab all the way. Like I think Merab's gonna be at the moment the most well. Hamzat actually might overtake this, but for now, Merab's gonna be the most dominant champion in the UFC. I think the competition, like you can argue Pantoja is,
Yeah, he's
and I get that argument. I just think that the level of competition in flyweight doesn't match level of competition in every other division. And so I think what you've seen Marab do against guys who are arguably better than him, but he's proven them to be wrong, where he's the best, you know. Someone like there is no Umar Nurmagomedov challenging Pantoja in the flyweight division, you know. There's no O'Malley, there's no Peter Yan. Like I think Marab is just really dominant. I think he's going to continue to do so. And we'll see him honestly beat Corey Sandhagen pretty comfortably, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like both the fighters. I think Corey's a very underrated fighter. I think he's a little bit better than Sean O'Malley's been proven against Merab. So I think he's going to live up to a little bit better of a fight than Sean O'Malley's rematch looked and the first fight looked. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive from Corey. Not that I'm siding with Corey. I think he's going to be able to get it done. I mean, Merab's going to be able to get it done against Corey, but I think it's going to be competitive. It's going to be a fun fight as the co-main event. I don't know about most dominant champion Merab. There is a chance that if he beats Corey, he laps his division, right? He could go down as pound for pound number one by the end of 2026 if he really puts on these dominant performances. His coach John Wood's been saying he's looking for more finishes in his camps. Merab's getting better at finishing. So if Merab actually ties together some finishes, doesn't just look like somebody who sits on his opponent for 25 minutes, then he should live up to the hype and be one of the greatest fighters ever in the UFC. I mean, if he wins against Corey, I think he's 13 or 14-0 in the UFC, like win streak, which is a crazy win streak. That's bigger win streaks than Amanda Nunes, bigger win streaks than Tony Ferguson. He's getting up there with like the Khabibs and real, like John Jones was what 19-0 in the UFC. If Merab lives up to his hype and stays this dominant champion, he said, "Yo, I want to be champion for the next 10 years," and he actually lives up to this kind of expectation he put in for himself, then bang, Merab is that guy. But it starts with Corey Sandhagen. This is going to be a tough one. Reading a TikTok comment here, it says Corey gets finished. So I like that prediction.
I like that too.
I would bet Merab by a submission win.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think flyweight we can skip. That's going to be Pantoja for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, another one of those
Like,
guys who could be pound for pound number one by the end of the 2026. Just keep
yeah,
stacking wins. Undeniable.
yeah. The welterweight division, we have JDM fighting Islam very soon, November 15th. Um, I like JDM. I'm happy that he beat Bilal. Very happy he beat Bilal. Actually, I should double down on it. But I think Islam is unbelievable. I think he's going to dominate JDM. I think that when you see Islam cut down to lightweight, he looks like a skeleton. I think he's going to be bulked up. I think he's going to be stronger than he's ever been. I think we might see the best fight we've ever seen out of Islam when he's got a few more pounds on him, even though he's fighting a champ weight class above. And if he stays there, there's not a lot, like there really isn't anyone I can see beating Islam. You know, if he was a little bit bigger, like I would say fight Hamzat, like those two guys. Like I really don't see anyone beating either of those two guys at the moment, you know? You got Ilya Taporia, who like maybe he won't move up, but maybe Islam comes back down to fight Ilya, because I also don't see many people beating Ilya in the lightweight division. But like those three divisions are like stacked where like any of those guys I would love to see fight each other. But it's obviously wishful thinking because of the size differences between all of them.
Yeah. I love Islam too. I mean, Islam held the pound for pound #1 spot before Ilia Topuria for like 2 years, just about 2 years. So I think he had like the longest.
I don't even know why he lost it.
He just lost it because Ilia Topuria has been knocking out legends, and Islam Topuria has kind of been taking the back side to that, where he's kind of in the shadows now to Ilia Topuria's rise in the UFC. It's not Islam Makhachev and Khabib as the face of the UFC anymore. It's guys like Ilia Topuria and Tom Aspinall who are exciting getting these knockouts. So I see why he took that #1 spot. I'm not sure if he'll hold it for the rest of the foreseeable future, but Islam Makhachev versus JDM is going to be a banger. I do love JDM. I think he's going to put up a hell of a fight. I mean, Volkat gave Islam problems at 155 or 145 even. Like they were small for that fight, and now Islam Makhachev in the next 2 years, 2 years from then, now he's fighting at 170, going up a division. I want to see him win so badly. I need Islam Makhachev to win this, become double champ, and actually live up to that expectation, because my bold prediction for UFC White House, which makes no sense because it's two fighters from the other side of the world, but I think they will be on UFC, the White House card. Islam Makhachev beats JDM, becomes double champ. So we got Islam Makhachev holding the 170 belt. We have Khamzat Chimaev, middleweight champion, 185. He's a smaller 185. He weighed in at 183 for his championship fight against DDP. He defends the belt once. Islam becomes champ. Super fight at the White House, co-main event, main event, Islam Makhachev versus Khamzat Chimaev, pound for pound #1. Khamzat Chimaev coming to be a double champ against the newly double champed Islam Makhachev. I think that's the most exciting fight that could happen. Better than John Jones Aspinall, better than Pereira versus whoever. I think Islam Makhachev at 170 versus Khamzat Chimaev coming down to fight at 170 for double champ status. That's the dream fight that I want to see at the White House. Give me it, please. Islam, it starts with you beating the shit out of JDM. Let's see it. I want it. And I'm going to eat my popcorn too.
I like it because they're both Russians and they both have similar styles of fighting, and I think it'd be fun to see. I would kind of like to see Ilya Islam in the same breath, and that'd be like the true pound for pound #1 fight, because they're 1 and 2. Where Khamzat's #4 on the list, and I don't know if he'd jump above Merab Islam or Ilya, even if he beats Imavov.
Could you imagine if Khamzat dominates Islam Makhachev at 170, dominates him, kills him, smashes him, takes #2 or #1 pound for pound, and then fights Ilya Makhachev as his first double champ title?
I just don't think I don't think the weight they'd be able to make it work. Like the weights are just too different. Because
I mean, Khamzat's fought at 170 multiple times in his career,
but I don't think Ilya can fight at 170.
I mean, he's already said that he wants to. So
really,
I mean, yeah,
nuts.
Yeah, right after his fight, his last fight against Charles Oliveira, he said he wants a 3rd belt. He wants to go up.
So lot of Ilya talk, but what's next for Ilya? Who does he fight next in that division? Because there's really like Arman Sarukian still hasn't had his title.
You got to give him Gaethje. You got to give him Gaethje. Cody, my name's Cody. Good to see you. My homie from Brazil joined on TikTok. Love, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. I got Justin Gaethje needs that fight. I mean, who else is Justin Gaethje going to fight? I mean, he already said he's going to retire if he doesn't get the title fight. They're just going to give it to him at this point, and then they're going to book like Arman versus Patty or Arman versus whoever, Dan Hooker. Or what fight really didn't make sense to me is Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. That fight just kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. I feel like Dan Hooker could have been in that fight. I feel like Arman could have been in that fight. I feel like a lot of people could have been in that fight over Rafael Fiziev, but maybe Fiziev makes a little climb to the title himself in the lightweight division as well.
Yeah, Arman Sarukian's got to do something, though. It's been almost a year and a half since he last fought. Obviously, he had that back injury, which made him pull out of the the Islam fight, but like, you're going to be the #2 ranked guy. You got to do something.
This is a good prediction too. Islam versus Shavkat would be cool. So let's say Islam takes the belt
I
at
saw that.
170, and then Shavkat's right in line for a #1 contender fight as well.
Yeah, I don't hate the Shafkat call. I just he's been out for a while. He beat Ian Gary and he deserves a title shot. Don't get me wrong. But it was a pretty close fight against Ian Gary. Like I'd almost want to see him fight against
Yeah,
someone else before he gets a title shot. And like Sean Brady is right in that mix as well. You know, like I think you can do like a Sean Brady Shafkat for a title eliminator, and then
Usman's in that mix now too after what he did to Buckley.
yeah, 100%. So, and we'll see like Leon's fighting Carlos Prates if he's able to get a big win against Carlos, like that might pop him up in the rankings as well. I know Prates is still down there, but
Like
that could get his
Morales.
name back in the mix.
Morales is in there in the mix too.
Yeah.
He's been looking good. Just knocked out Gilbert Burns in the first round, so he's going to get a step up in competition, get his name in the top 5 as well. So welterweight's a tricky one, a lot of contenders, but I mean they have a dominant champ in well, hopefully a dominant champ in Islam Makhachev, but JDM could be that guy too. I'm not going to count out JDM by no means. He beat the crap out of Bilal, man. And if he could put that fight together against any other fighter, like stuff the takedowns and outbox you and output you and pressure you, I think he has a chance against anybody. But like you said, Islam Makhachev just might be too big, might be able to use his wrestling, might be able to implement a good strategy against JDM. So I'm excited for that fight. Should be a banger to end off the year in November, right?
Yeah.
We also have a heavyweight bout that's before the end of the year as well.
Yeah, we do. All right, 1 second here. We have Tom Aspinall taking on Cyril Gane. That's going to be actually before the Islam fight, October 25th. Cyril Gane keeps getting these title shots and he keeps losing them, and I think it's going to happen again. Like I don't know why they keep sending back to the Wolves. Like I get it, he beats basically everyone else and whatever, but like
yeah,
I think Tom Aspinall is really, really good, and I think he's going to keep it up. Heavyweight's kind of a boring division where there isn't like the fights are fun because there's a lot of finishes in the heavyweight division, but like there's just no
stars.
one, no stars.
I mean, Tai Tuivasa was the biggest star for such a long time, and now where is he?
Yeah, exactly. You had Waldo Cortez Acosta that people were like, oh, if he beats Pavlovich, maybe he gets a title shot. Did not beat Pavlovich. And then you have like all these old guys who like are still in the top 5 with like Volkov, Pavlovich, even Spivak still gets some runs, but like those guys keep losing to each other and winning against other guys, and it's just a mess over there. But yeah, I think Tom Aspinall is going to be champ by the end of the year. I don't really see it ending any other way.
Spivak's next fight, who is he fighting next? I think he's fighting somebody who also has a chance to come up in the heavyweight.
He's not booked right now.
No, he is booked. He's booked against Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev. Anyways, this guy's a sick heavyweight.
Yeah.
I love watching Shamil. He's sweet. So I think he's going to win against the Polar Bear, maybe get booked to fight Volkov or whoever at the top in the top 5, you know. But he's making a name for himself in the heavyweight division too. I don't understand the Cyril Gane getting the title shot after a robbery over Volkov. Literally lost that fight. I couldn't believe that the judges scored it for him, and now he gets a title shot because of it. It just doesn't make any sense. Tom Aspinall is probably going to knock him out within the first or the second round, and then Cyril Gane's not going to fight for a while, wait around. He's going to get another super fight with Alex Pereira. This is my prediction. Alex Pereira's first fight in heavyweight is going to be against Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane gets all these money fights for no reason. He's going to lose to Alex Pereira, then Alex Pereira will be #1 contender, fight Tom Aspinall at the White House.
At the White House.
Who knows?
The White House card is an interesting one. Like,
we imagine that. Like, John Jones is not going to be fighting for the title at the White House, but I mean, if Alex Pereira wants to move up to heavyweight, beat Cyril Gane, and then fight for the title, I mean, that could be insane.
Yeah. I mean, the White House card's funny because like you want to have American champions on that card, but there are no American champions. I mean, there are right now, but there won't be at that time. Or no, there aren't any American.
Got to give Michael Chandler a title shot.
Put him in there. Michael Chandler,
Got it.
Conor McGregor, main event on the White House.
Got it, man.
Yeah, I
Got it.
feel like the White House card is just gonna be a bunch of fighters that Trump fucks with. Like,
Mhm.
there's gonna be like you're gonna see Connor there. You might see, like maybe he gets John Jones in there. I feel like he fucks with Hamzat.
Yeah,
You
Connor
could see
versus
him there.
Chandler will probably happen. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be the fight, or they do like Connor versus Diaz in a return fight, trilogy fight, which would be sick. But I think if Nate Diaz comes back, he wants a little bit higher of competition to really test himself, and I think they might give him Max Holloway for the BMF belt. I think they
That'd
could
be
really.
cool. I could
Uh,
see a BMF fight at the White House card. Like,
oh, for sure,
yeah, like
it's
Max
gonna happen.
Holloway could definitely be there.
There's no way they
So
don't
we'll
put that
see.
that belt on the line for the UFC White House. I think that's a must by the UFC.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have two big title fights coming up on this next like pay-per-view with versus Pereira and Marab versus Corey Sandhagen, which like we don't usually see two title fights. At least like we've have in the past, but not in recent times. But three title fights we never see. I actually don't know if it's ever happened.
Yeah,
And
they'll
I
do
could
that.
definitely see that happening at the White House card. Like, if Dana gives us a main card of 5 fights and they're all title fights, I would not be surprised because he will make Trump very happy.
Yeah. I don't want to wait until the White House card to see this fight, but it would be a good fight for it. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. That's a firefight. Like, that's a
That'd be
great fight.
fun. That'd be fun.
But I don't think
Um,
I want to wait that long to see that. I hope that happens sooner.
but yeah. So anyway, that breaks down. Well, I guess let's break down one last fight for 2025.
But
That who's gonna be champion? Valentina Shevchenko taking on Weili Zhang. What are your thoughts of that fight? I know we don't give chick fights too much love here, but this one deserves it.
I love Valentina Shevchenko. She won me money against Manon Farrow. She was counted out in that one. I don't think she'll be counted out in this one. Weili Zhang is really that great. She deserved this opportunity to step up and go up and become a double champ. That would be incredible for her career if she does do that. What scares me is that one knockout loss against Rose Namajunas where she took a head kick and fell and got knocked out and finished, where I think Valentina Shevchenko has crazier kicks than Rose Namajunas. So I'm scared for Weili Zhang moving up. I think she might get knocked out. But this is incredible for Valentina Shevchenko as well, because people have kind of put her in the shadows to Amanda Nunes and other Kayla Harrison and females in the sport. But I think truly she is one of the best female fighters to ever grace the octagon, man. She is one of the best female fighters ever. I think she beats all those fighters in their prime. Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey. I mean, she is really, really good. So I think
Yeah, 100% agree.
Valentina Shevchenko should be able to get it done against Weili. I like the fight, but I even like Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern as a replacement for the vacant flyweight, uh, women's flyweight title. I think it's either featherweight or
No, I think it's gonna be at strawweight probably.
strawweight.
No?
Strawweight. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Because
the strawweight.
Whaley is, I think, vacating and moving up. That's how it's working.
But yeah, so
Um,
I'm excited for Mackenzie Dern to be champion, man. That's what I'm excited for.
yeah, I think Verna is gonna probably. I don't know. Verna's just one of those fighters
She's
that's
so
boring
good.
to watch, but like I feel like she's just gonna smoke Mackenzie. Like I think there's levels to it. I think Mackenzie beats basically everyone else in the division, but like Verna has just been dominating everyone.
For her to get a shot at the title is just amazing, man. It's Mackenzie Dern's
The
time.
UFC knows ass gets views, man. What can I say? Dana's a smart man.
She deserves it, man. She deserves it. But yeah, those
But
are
yeah,
really our best predictions for what title fights are to come by the end of 2025. But 2026, who do you think is going to be at the top of the pound for pound rankings? Who do you think? Do we see any crazy returns? We got Connor confirmed for the White House. Do we see Nate Diaz come back? Do we see John Jones return? Do we see these fight? Ronda Rousey even said she might come back. Like,
yeah,
2026 could be crazy for returns and for rising new prospects as well. Like, we've seen people coming from contender series who go fight for the title next year, like Gene Silva, like Kyle Bahio, like Carlos Prates. So there's some good guys coming into the UFC right now. I'm excited to see who makes a name for themselves. But do you have any bold prediction for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think we're gonna see Connor come back, which is dumb because I said that last year too, and that didn't happen. But I think it'll happen. I really do. Um, I do see a big one coming back. I think Amanda Nunes is gonna come back in 2026. That feels like it's also confirmed. I know it hasn't been technically, but like it's there against Kayla Harrison. I think that
She
is
wants
gonna
it, yeah.
happen, and I actually do see that being a White House card with Kayla being like a pretty patriotic American, I think.
Yeah,
So
I think so
that
too.
that could happen there as well. Plus, like getting a chick fight's always easy to get in the mix. I think for the UFC, it's like an easy title fight to throw in.
Mhm.
Gives Amanda Nunes 6-7 months to come back. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a big one. In terms of
No
like
real true contender in that division anyway.
no. In terms of who's going to be pound for pound, like I think it's a toss up between Ilya, Hamzat, and Islam. I think any of them can be number one pound for pound. I think the
How
only
about
thing it comes
Merab and
down to,
Pantoja, though? They're a little smaller, but even Tom Aspinall, maybe he could throw his name in the pound for pound mix.
I just don't see. Like, you're right. Marab and Pantoja could be in the mix as well. I think that all five of those guys are probably going to go unbeaten.
Yeah. Wow. Bless
Sorry,
you.
in
Oh, yeah.
2026. And so I think what it comes down to, I think that Marab and Pantoja would be boring pound for pound, and it would take for them. They would have to do a lot more than the other guys to. I'm going to see this again.
They got to fight. They got to fight. That's the answer to this. Bless you, but they got to fight. Pantoja has to step up and put his title on the
But
line
they
to Merab.
like more than the other guys. I think between the three that I mentioned, Ilya, Murad, or Ilya, Islam, and Hamzat, I think whoever fights the most out of those three is going to be pound for pound, because I think Pantoja and Murad have to get like 2 extra wins on top of those guys to make that splash to get into the
Yeah.
top ranking.
Yeah.
That's
Well, what I hope
yeah,
they do is if they want to get that ranking, like Pantoja, fight Merab. Let Merab come down and fight you for a double
yeah,
champ status. Then that could put you in the top of the pound for pound. Ilya, go fight Islam. Hamza, go fight Islam Makhachev. Like, make these super fights happen so we actually know who's dominant pound for pound number one.
yeah. I mean, I think Ilya could fight Islam in 2026, and I think Islam could fight Hamzat in 2026. Either one of those fights could happen. Yeah, MRAS or MMA News Europe. I agree with you. I don't really know what MRAS came in here for on IG. That's kind of weird. But you do you, bro. Fuck it.
Evlov versus Murphy, both undefeated. Yeah, that's a good fight. But Murphy's
but
number one contender, kind of. So,
oh, you got someone on TikTok there?
no, that's on Insta. As you said, Laron Murphy versus Evloev next. But I mean, Laron Murphy's. It's like that's like saying RDR needs to fight Imavov in middleweight. It's like if there is a number one contender, just let them fight for the. Don't let the champion just sit around and not do anything, man. Like, make them fight the number one guy. And yeah, are you guys predicting big fight for the next year? Yeah, I mean, some big fights. I think there's going to be some big.
Yeah. Here, these are the big fights I'm predicting. I think Islam fights either moves up or moves down after he beats JDM to either fight Hamzat or Ilya.
I agree.
Whoever wins that fight, which whoever Islam fights, is going to be number one pound for pound end of the year. Because I think even if Merab versus Pantoja happens, because Pantoja's cleared the division, Merab's about to clear the division. So if that fight ends up happening, even if one of those guys wins, they'll probably be number two. I don't know. Islam might move back down after JDM to fight
Yeah,
Ilya.
I mean,
I think
I
the
think he
Hamza
will.
fight makes more sense because they're like stylistically, it's a more exciting fight. But like if Ilya keeps beating these champs, Islam might just be like, yo, fuck this Ilya guy. I want
He's
to
running from Ilya right now. Like, I mean, I'd still run unless Ilya's going to have to go up to 170 to fight him, or Hamzat's going to go down to fight Islam Makhachev at 170. He'll have nowhere to run anymore. He's going to have to fight Ilya or Hamzat by the end of 2026.
Yeah, because Ilya is going to beat Justin Gaethje if that happens. And I like Ilya against Armin as well. Like, I think Armin's great. And I thought Armin versus Islam was a close fight. And I think Ilya versus Armin's a close fight. But I don't think Armin's going to be active enough to even get a title shot in 2026. Like, I think he needs to get at least
that's a
one more
bold
fight
prediction
in.
right there. I like that. I like that.
I just think he's got to do more. I don't know. It's weird. Like, he's just been on the sidelines for a year and a half. You know, like you waited forever to get your title shot. You blew it by fucking up your back. And now you've been out since, and you still don't even have a fight booked. You need to fight at least one more fight to get a title shot. and then it just has to line up with Ilya's schedule for you to get that fight in 2026. And like Armin's the type of guy who fights once a year. Like
Yeah, I
he'll
mean,
get his one fight, and it's not gonna be a title shot.
crazy Moicano fought for the title instead of Armin. That is just nuts. And yeah, I mean, if Fiziev could go fight for the title, I mean, Charles, if he beats Fiziev, but if Fiziev beats Charles, I mean, he's right there for the title over Armin. Like, Armin's going to have to fight Fiziev maybe if Fiziev wins against Charles. But, I mean, then he's still waiting around for another 6, 7, 8 months for a fight. And it's like, bro, just get in there. Take a Dan Hooker fight. Take a Lacine Kieta fight. Take somebody. I don't care.
Yeah. My boldest prediction, though, is I think Kevin Vallejos is going to be top 10 in the featherweight by end of 2026. Because I think like
too, for
he's fought 3 times in the past year. I think we can see him fight 3 more times. He'll get one more fight outside of top 15. That'll get him into to fight someone in top 15. That's his second fight. And then he'll get a top 10 fight after. And possibly even a top 5 fight. Like we saw how it worked with Gene Silva, where he got a top 5 fight after being only ranked 10th, you know, like could happen again, low-key.
I think in flyweight, I have a bold prediction here. I think Charles Johnson, he is just impressing me time and time again. I think he's going to be climbing the ranking. He's like 14th, 15th ranked right now, but I think by the end of 2026, he'll be in the top 3 guys, like number 1 contender almost. I like Charles Johnson a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's beating Josh Van, who's number 1 right now in the rankings there.
Yeah. Joshua Van a big title. He could be the champion too. That's crazy. I forgot about that fight. That's going to happen.
Yeah, Josh Van Pantoja.
Yeah. Banger.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well. I like Josh Van too. I've actually seen a lot of his fights live, surprisingly. I think I've been to at least 2 of his fights live at the Sphere and UFC 313.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was one more that I saw him fight live, which was interesting. But he's been good. He's been climbing up. I remember at the Sphere, there was like I was talking to all the fans, and everyone's like, "Who the fuck is Josh Van? He's gonna get smoked," because he was fighting a Mexican guy.
Yeah.
And he did not get smoked.
He's been doing the smoking. It's impressive. Maybe Carlos Prates, first ever alcoholic smoking champion. That could be a crazy turn of events in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
But for real bold predictions, like I don't know. Like some of these young guys, I don't know how they're gonna do. Like Joshua Van, he is at the top, but like he's so young. How does his wrestling look against the Pantoja? You know, I think he's 23, bro.
Vallejos?
Joshua Van.
Oh, Joshua Van. Yeah, he's young too. He's not. I don't think he's 23, but he's young. I think Vallejos is 23 or something like that. Oh, no, really? Josh Van 23. Damn.
Yeah, bro. He's young.
We're older than Josh Van. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know, it's actually insane when you see like Elise Pereira made her debut in the UFC last week, and she was 19 years old. I'm like, holy shit, I'm actually unk now. Like we are getting there, bro.
What do you think for Raul Rosas Jr.? Obviously, he's like the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to fight Rob Font there. He was supposed to fight last weekend at UFC Noche, co-main event against Rob Font, and injury or something happened to where he couldn't make that fight happen. But if he beat Rob Font, he could have been climbing in that division too. It scares me because he did get fraud checked once. I think he has a loss there.
He does,
but so I don't know if that's an age thing, but I'm excited for him as well. I like Bashi. I like Torres Finney. I like some of these guys we're seeing, but I don't know if their skill set is at champion level. I just don't think it's there, but they could be smart within their career and take things slow, take right fights, and they'll make it up into the rankings in time. But I don't think
Raul Rosas is out of all the prospects, he's the only one doing that right now. Because you had Bo Nickel doing that too, slowly climbing his way.
Bo Nickel champ by the end of 2026?
No.
Nah, unfortunately not anymore. But
Bo Nickel would be fun.
His last fight the way he did, I would kind of still think that.
Yeah. Oh, if you beat like we're talking RDR for championship right now. Like if Bo Nickel beat RDR, there would have been a chance for sure. I mean, Bo Nickel at the White House card could be fun too.
Yeah.
Being a D1 wrestler there. But yeah, I think Raul Rosas out of all the prospects is like most likely to be in like the top 5 by end of 2026. Obviously, he was supposed to fight Rob Font. Rob Font was ranked 9th up until he lost his last fight. So we could have seen him there. I think David Martinez is making some headway. Maybe you see a little Mexico versus Mexico happen.
Yeah.
which I think would be cool as well. But yeah, lots of exciting fights for 2026. Lots of exciting fights left. Like the end of 2025 is going to be sick. Like it's going to
Yeah.
basically lay out what 2026 is going to look like to a T. So we'll see what happens there.
And I do think the cards only get bigger and badder and like better, like because they signed this new Paramount deal, right? 1.1
Yeah,
billion a year. So they're going to be pushing more events, more Power Slap,
yeah,
more BJJ events, more everything. So I think the events will only get bigger. Well, we
yeah.
are promised more fight nights, which I'm kind of bummed about. I'm not a big fight night guy, but with fight nights performing like UFC Paris and these other cards that they're doing,
And
if they do
UFC
a fight
Noche
night,
was good.
yeah, if they do fight nights in Spain, if they start traveling and doing these fight nights everywhere, like they got fight night in Rio de Janeiro, like I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So hopefully see
A-
more of that and bigger productions and stuff. I love it.
And you know what? I know the UFC got 1.1 bill from Paramount there, but like no one's talking about the oil money they're getting too for everything Dana's doing there.
Oh
Like
wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's bringing in another 500 million a year. And so like we might see some big fights out in the Middle East there as well this year. So that'd be cool
Oh,
to see.
last thing I wanted to go over before we end the show is boxing. We know Dana White signed the whole boxing deal. We just saw Terrence Crawford versus Canelo
Massive.
Alvarez, massive fights. We saw Mr. Beast Turkey. Um, and they're all sitting cage side with Dana White, or ringside rather. And I just think like we might be able to see some UFC crossovers similar to Conor versus Floyd. Maybe we see Sean O'Malley versus Tank Davis if Tank beats Jake Paul or something. Like we might be able to see these fights. Ilya Taporia and Terrence Crawford are going back and forth. Like that would be insane. Pound for pound in the UFC, number one versus pound for pound number one in boxing. That could be the biggest boxing fight ever if you think about it.
I
Because
think, yeah, I think you're right. I think we're like 2 to 3 years away from like I think we're 2 to 3 years away from like big current names in the UFC fighting and boxing. But I think what we might see is like Justin Gaethje. I could see him going over to box. You know, he's at the end of his career. Max Holloway is actually surprisingly young, so he's probably not going to, but he feels older than he is.
yeah.
But yeah, I could see a Justin Gaethje going over. Who else? I could see a Holloway just like taking on a fight there if there's nothing
True.
for him in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know, like could be fun. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of crossovers. I think there's a lot of strikers who can take it up, you know. So, but it'd be cool to see. It looks like Dana is going to be working really hard to getting these super fights going on in boxing, which we haven't had in a really long time. And Turkey's been able to get it done. So, um,
Seems like the future is
money
only getting
helps
brighter.
for
So I
boxing,
love that.
100%.
I love that.
Yeah,
And even for the UFC, like the sport's only growing every year. Every year is getting bigger and bigger and badder. And even fighters who are kind of like missing weight and stuff, they even go to different promotions now because they get cut immediately. Dana White's not putting up with any of these missing weights. Like Calvin Gastelum, he missed weight by 5 pounds. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him versus like um, Rosenstrike in dirty boxing, or if he goes to bare knuckle, or if these
yeah,
fighters from the UFC, if they start doing bad, taking losses, they don't just stick around and get paid the minimum. They're going to go fight for another organization like the PFL or dirty boxing,
yeah,
who's going to give them a good buzz and some good promotion and money. So I
yeah.
think we see a lot more of that as well.
Yeah, and I like how you brought up Dirty Boxing because I think we're going to see a lot of crossover with Dirty Boxing.
Hmm.
Obviously, they're owned by First Round Management, which is the biggest fighter management group in the world. They manage some of the biggest names, so like we see a lot of those guys go over. But like even just saw Brian Battle
Yeah.
go over and fight in Dirty Boxing, which was like super interesting because like Brian Battle wasn't that bad in the UFC, I don't think, at least, you know.
Yeah, no, he
Um,
was good. And he changed the
yeah,
whole PR about himself by doing that. Like everyone was like ripping on him for missing weight and being this like get out of the UFC. And then he's like, whatever, I will. And now he's fighting for a 500K tournament in the PFL, got a win in dirty boxing, which probably paid him very well. And he's getting all this good promo now. It's just insane that you can
he's
see
got way
somebody.
more eyeballs on him.
Yeah, you get way more eyeballs on you. And you
Yeah.
think that would come by being in the UFC. But even if you make a mistake in the UFC, now you have other organizations to pick you back up and build you back up to get you back into the UFC. So it's actually
Yeah.
really cool to see.
Yeah. But next week we got a big card coming up. I think not a big card, but we got.
Yeah, I mean, big
coming up.
prediction for 2026: Dominic Reyes, light heavyweight champion.
Whoa, whoa! I don't know if I
Oh,
got
we'll
light
get into
heavyweight
that
champion,
next Thursday. We'll get into that
but
next Thursday.
I do have him. I do have him making a bit of a comeback, but it'll be an interesting fight against Carlos Alberg. We'll break it down next Thursday. It's been a pleasure running this episode. I like doing these ones where we just kind of walk around and talk about whatever. But yeah, Dominic Reyes taking off Carlos Alberg in the main event next weekend. That one's going to be, I think it's in Perth, Australia. Maybe it's in Sydney. I don't remember.
In Perth, baby. It's in Perth.
A lot of Australians fighting on that card. Problem is that a lot of Australians that nobody gives a shit about.
So many Australians. You just got to cook up an Australian parlay for the funds.
Yeah, you got Junior Taffa taking on Ivo Islan in the co-main event.
Nope.
Jack Jenkins.
Nope. Taffa pulled out
today.
Taffa pulled out today.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Taffa's not fighting. I think they cut both the Taffa brothers by the end of the week. But Taffa's one of those guys that, like, he gets cut from the UFC for missing weight here again. He could go fight in another promotion and kind of rebuild himself. So
yeah, perfect for DBX. Really is. DBX loves their bigger guys.
I mean, when their boss is John Jones, like, why not? Like, you're gonna
100%
have the right eyes on you. So,
but yeah. Anyway, we'll break it all down next week. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Every Thursday, we're live at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's been a pleasure. Cody's gonna go live next Saturday. Probably not this one. Not gonna talk about this one. But yeah,
just nothing to watch. But yeah, take care, guys.
See y'all next week.